You want
Mhm.
this. You asked for it. There's work to be done on your part too. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a both end. It's not an either or. It's not the organization are doing it. I've got no responsibility, or I've got all this responsibility, and the organization is, doesn't have anything. It's a top down, bottom up, always, right? So we've got to be able to identify, and I think a key part of that is I don't know what it feels like for you to belong in an organization, Brian. Only you can actually tell me that. And if I continue as an organization to create this environment of what I think, I call it a support grenade. I'm like launching this support, going, yeah, Brian, I'll feel like that's helpful. And then it blows up, and you feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this to me. And you're pulling shrapnel out of you because this support grenade went off and it missed the mark entirely because I did what I thought would be supportive, not necessarily what you needed to be supportive. But in that accountability piece, where's your accountability to tell me what you need? And if you don't know what you need, it's your job to kind of figure that out, right? Because you're the sum of your experiences, I'm the sum of my experiences. They're not the same thing. What feels supportive to me may not feel supportive to you. And I think in that lens, this is this big thing about micromanagement also, which we know the concept overarching of itself as an intentional practice is a very bad practice. We know that.
Right.
But if you've got a strong need for connection and relatedness, your boss checking in on you and going, hey, Brian, what's up today? What have you got on your plate today? Might actually make you feel supported. Whereas I've got a client who I know that the boss going in and saying, hey, what have you got on today? She's like, what do you think? I can't handle it? Right. So she felt micromanaged, not necessarily the intention of the leader, but how it was received. And then there's the other person who got the same behavior from the leader who felt supported. So where's your conversation to the leader saying, hey, the best way you can support me as a leader is by da 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 da. That requires a level of self-awareness. And I think with all of this, with TikTok and Instagram, you only got to look at social media. There's so much conversation around self-awareness, but there's not a lot of conversation about self-management. I'm aware of my feelings. I'm feeling all my feels, but how do I communicate that effectively in a work environment? How do I communicate that effectively to my partner? How do I then have that conversations rather than my feels are feeling and feeling everywhere and exploding on everybody and not managing that very well?
Okay. All right. You opened the door. I'm going to go down there.
Excellent.